All right, so today we're going to be doing a deep dive into, well, it's a song, a British rap song, I guess, called Bog Standard. And we've got the lyrics here. And some background and stuff too. So we're going to be like going through the lyrics and trying to figure out what the story is, beyond just like the surface.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great idea because while the song is called Bog Standard, the lyrics themselves are anything but bog standard.
Yeah.
Right? It's fascinating how the artist sort of uses this very British term, which usually just means something like commonplace or unexceptional, to create something that is so vibrant and unique.
Totally. Yeah. It's like the title itself is kind of like a challenge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like don't box me in. Don't think I'm just like whatever. There's more to me than meets the eye.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. There's a line like pretty early on that I thought was really interesting. It says, spit rhyme like a pint pour, never flat.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know why, but like I feel like I can hear a pub when I hear that,
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think is going on there? What do you think they're trying to get at with that?
I think it's incredibly evocative, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it goes beyond even just the sound of the words, although I mean, the onomatopoeia is definitely working there, right? You can almost hear the liquid.
Yeah.
But I think it speaks to a certain confidence too.
Okay.
A kind of flow that is as smooth and satisfying as a perfectly poured pint.
Yeah.
And of course, in British culture, I mean, the pub is such a central meeting place. It's a space for, sharing stories, connecting with people.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe there's a layer of that in the lyrics too, like an invitation to listen, to share in this experience.
I like that. Yeah, it's like welcoming you in. Come on in.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, speaking of sharing, there's a lot of slang in these lyrics.
Yeah.
And that's something that I always find really interesting.
Absolutely.
Because I think it adds like a layer of authenticity.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's more than just colorful language though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like how do you think these specific terms that are used like chippy old Bill, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
How do you think those actually feed into like the bigger picture of what the song is doing?
Well, I think using slang instantly roots the song in a particular place and culture, right?
Okay.
It gives it that real London working class flavor.
Okay.
Chippy refers to a fish and chip shop, which is, a classic British takeaway, often seen as a symbol of just everyday life.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Old Bill, which is slang for the police,
right,
might hint at a more complex relationship with authority.
Okay.
Something that many listeners, I think, can relate to.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like grounding it in a certain reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe even like hinting at some like underlying tension.
Totally.
And then you've got some other lines that talk about lifting dream valleys from council flats.
Yeah.
And those, I don't know, those just feel particularly powerful.
They really are.
Yeah.
Council flats are public housing, often associated with lower income communities.
Right.
So when the artist talks about lifting dream valleys from those spaces, I think it suggests a desire for something more.
Right.
A yearning to kind of rise above one's circumstances. And it's a message of hope, ambition, resilience.
Right. And it's not just a one-off line. It's like that Bog Standard comes back over and over again throughout the song.
Yeah, right.
What kind of impact do you think that has on the listener? What are they trying to do with that?
Well, I think repetition in music generally is a very powerful tool.
Yeah.
It can create a sense of rhythm. It can emphasize key themes.
Yeah.
It can even have a hypnotic effect.
Yeah.
In this case, I think it's really reinforcing that central message of the song.
Okay.
The rejection of being ordinary,
Right.
the defiance of limitations.
Yeah.
Each time that phrase Bog Standard appears, it's almost like a reminder.
Okay.
A call to action, to embrace individuality, to strive for something more.
Yeah. So we've got all these different things going on, right? We've got the sounds, we've got the language.
Yeah.
We've got these images that are like painting a really vivid picture of what London is.
That's right.
But at the same time weaving in these deeper
meanings.
Yeah. Like defying expectations and aiming high.
Exactly. And I think what's so compelling is that it's all done through the lens of this seemingly simple phrase, bog standard. It makes you kind of reconsider what we consider ordinary. And it challenges us to find the extraordinary within the everyday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great takeaway, I think. And this deep dive has really it's more than just okay, here's what this word means and here's what that word means.
Right.
It's really about how an artist can use language and music to tell a story.
Absolutely.
To challenge our perceptions and to connect with people.
And I think it leaves us with a lot to think about, how do other artists use similar techniques?
Right.
What other aspects of life, things that we might consider bog standard, can be re-examined and celebrated through art.
Yeah.
What dream valleys are you lifting in your own life?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. Thank you.
Thank you
for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Into Bog Standard.
Cheers.
Awesome. We'll catch you next time.
Sounds good.
Whisper to the gods, every verse an advancement. Bog standard, nah, elevated banter. First chancellor, orchestrating like a master. Nah, mate, this ain't just chatter. Bars hit hard, shatter glass quick, faster. Bog standard.